Hey guys, Matt here from MattRec128, and welcome to a new series where I will be ranking my top 5 characters in Genshin Impact based on various topics. The first episode today is Top 5 Pyro Characters. Pyro Characters as a whole has been more and more so when it comes to DPS and their incredible attack buffing to showcasing the best damage potential on some of the best characters in the game. They're usually meant on attack scaling, most of the time. But yes, I will be ranking my top 5 Pyro characters based on their kit, their strengths, their synergies with the other cast, as well as their position in the meta. If you do enjoy this type of video series, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, that would be appreciated. And of course, every single Friday will be where I will upload a new episode based on various topics on what I think, or if you want to request one, let me know in the comments down below, and also your top 5. Alrighty then, let's get straight to the video. So at the number 5 spot, we have Xiangling, the chef from Liyue, and is also a member of the Power 5. If you don't know what the Power 5 is, basically version 1.0 stars whose strengths continue to be as valuable for even over 4 to 5 years of the game, and Xiangling is one of those members. Xiangling is known for one thing, and one thing only, if you just exclude the copy pasta, which, yes, I know it. Her ability to provide some of the greatest power application by far in the game, and is indeed a must when it comes to most comps like Vaporize, or her more popular ones like National and International. Her ability to providing some of the best power application has been very exponentially effective, because she's able to provide some of the best application to set you up for various elemental reactions. And especially since Genshin Impact is a very reaction-based game, this definitely proves her spot even further. Now, if copy pasta aside, we know that she's capable of also doing pretty good sub-DPS. Her damage is really decent for the most part, unless if you somehow build her to apply as much to gain her elemental burst as fast as you possibly could. But if you are a victim to, you know, having her do more damage than your power DPS, then you must have fallen victim to the copy pasta, I'm sorry. But yeah, the only downside is that she is very energy hungry into setting up her elemental burst, but she has a lot of good ways to help set up her power application with, you know, Emblem of Severed Fate or running Favonius Lance, and just pairing her with Bennett, really, just to help her get all of that power application. So, in my opinion, the number 5 spot goes to Xiangling. And at the number 4 spot goes to Hu Tao, the 77th director of the Wangsheng Feudal Parlor, and made her debut in version 1.3 of Genshin Impact. As the first Pyro character to introduce HP scaling, she's also the first character to introduce to all of us as what I like to nickname it as the risk and reward playstyle, where the less health you get, the more damage and her strengths lie. She's one of the characters whose Pyro DPS was indeed a gigantic boost, especially over a 1.0 version character like Diluc, and pretty much set the bar for more featured DPSs down the line ever since then. Hu Tao is known definitely for parrying her when it comes to you know, most vaporized comps nowadays, because that is arguably her best comp. But before then it was vaporized, but now we're eventually adding in the inclusion of Melt thanks to newer crowd characters like Sitlali that can allow more consistent crowd application, because Melt does have a higher multiplier over Vaporize. So there is also that to point out. She is indeed one of those Pyro characters where her damage and potential will never get power creeped over time. And by what I mean by that is that even though there are stronger characters than Hu Tao, which I'll get to that later in the top 5, she is still a very formidable character that can still see endgame play to this day. Also, she's adorable, right? But her damage potential is very strong, to the point that she is still a really good formidable unit, even if you don't have some of the older, the newer power DPSs. For as long as you have Hu Tao, you should be fine. So yeah, she's definitely best when it comes to her kit being Crimson Witch, and also to stack as much HP as possible, with some EM as well, to really do as much Pyro damage when it comes to Vaporize / Melt, and with her charge attack spam. So the number 4 spot goes to Hu Tao. And at the number 3 spot goes to Bennett, this unlucky adventurer. Well, he ain't unlucky, because he is actually lucky when it comes to buffing our team. No, seriously, he really does. What makes Bennett so incredible is that, yes, once again, as another member of the Power 5, as I listed earlier, Bennett comes from arguably his incredible Elemental Burst application to providing the craziest attack buffs to making your best DPS characters go absolutely crazy and skyrocket their damage potential even higher. What also makes it better is that it also heals. Bennett pretty much is an all-in-one package where he can actually do heals, he can actually buff your team, he can actually provide, you know, decent power application. Even you can even make him DPS if you wanted to. Though there is one flaw. Unless if you're gonna go there, I wouldn't recommend UC6 Bennett. Yeah, seriously. But yeah, that aside, Bennett is arguably one of the best supports by far in the game still to this day, and ever since whenever they're adding in more DPS characters, I feel like it's going to make Bennett's usage a lot more effective. But for the most part, he is still such a strong support even to this day, from beginning all the way to the current stage now. And in order to build him, it's pretty simple. Just rock 4-piece Noblesse Oblige and run either the highest base attack weapon you can to maximize his buff, or if you're willing to cover up all the energy problems, that is also available as well. So for the most part, he's pretty simple to build. He's arguably one of the best buffers in the game. He may not be the best, but he's still up there as one of the best. So the number 3 spot goes to Bennett. At the number 2 spot goes to Arlecchino, the 4th of the Fatui Harbingers and the leader of the House of the Hearth. When she first debuted in version 4.6, oh my god, she took power DPS to an insane new level ever since then. Literally is one of the best DPSs out there that pretty much can match Nuvolette, and that's a big claim. And a big stroke of, like, you're coping when you say that. Well, no, she actually has the skills to back it up. As the first character to introduce the Bond of Life mechanic to its fullest potential by trading off her ability to heal by any other means except for Elemental Burst, she provides some of the craziest damage by far to this day, and it's still one of the most versatile DPS characters that you can pretty much run and you'll be fine. She is indeed a bit tricky to maintain her Bond of Life, because you need to remember that you cannot get healed by anything else except her Elemental Burst when you have a Bond of Life. But because of that, Elemental Skill, then go ham on the normal attacks. That's pretty much the best way to go DPS of Arlecchino, and if you need to use that Elemental Burst to heal and reset her long and pretty obnoxious skill cooldown, then that's also there as an option. She does pack some of the best normal attack DP damage by far in the game, and is still one of the best DPS characters by far that can still hold her own well in the meta. Building her, though, is a bit of a stretch because you have to choose between two things. If you want to go for the beginner approach, go Gladiator. But if you want to go for the big boy approach, like the big time, run the Whimsy set, because that provides Bond of Life buffs to increasing her personal damage. Still one of the best DPS characters by far to this day. She would have been a good choice for number 1 if it wasn't for one last ride. So the number 2 spot goes to Arlecchino. And taking our number 1 spot is none other than the Pyro Archon herself, Mavuika. Making her debut as a playable character in version 5.3 of Genshin Impact, she has shown to us indeed the pinnacle of what Pyro is all about. And if you ask me what the pinnacle Pyro is all about, definitely when it comes to DPS and also her incredible attack scaling. That's most, you know, most Pyro DPS nowadays. But the reason why Mavuika is arguably the number 1 spot is without a doubt her incredible, and I mean her incredible damage potential, thanks to her absurd attack scaling, and also she packs just pretty much so much more power than Arlecchino. No offense to the Arlecchino mains out there. But another thing. Now, one restriction that I would say that might be a bit of an annoyance, I wouldn't consider it as a restriction, is that you need to pair her when it comes to Natlan use to build up her Elemental Burst, because her Elemental Burst is very special that you cannot run energy recharge. It only fills up whenever Natlan characters use their abilities, which builds up the Night Soul bar. But even if you don't have any Natlan characters on Mavuika's team, for as long as you can let her build the bar, because she can build it pretty fast, she can still do really, really good damage. Now, you know the comps. You see Mavuika Premium with Solali plus Shilonen. But it's not really like a comp that you'd use most of the time. Hell, I don't have Solali or Shilonen, yet I can still run an Overload comp or a Burning comp with Kinich, and I can still do good. Mavuika just packs so much power, it's absolutely insane on how you can build her. One of the best ways you can build her is definitely without a doubt 4-piece Obsidian Codex, and if you're willing for support, you can run Cinder Set based on the certain teams you're going to run here. But yeah, Mavuika is arguably the pinnacle of Pyro when it comes to DPS, that's what I personally think that's what the element is all about. And she blows it out of the water and is still, if not the greatest DPS character by far in Genshin Impact. Now, I don't think she's going to be toppled by any other character. She's going to probably have her reign for as long as it possibly takes, and I'm proud to be a Mavuika owner myself. So yeah, for as long as you can put in the proper investments, get her best weapons and gear, she can pack so much power. So the #1 spot goes to Mavuika. And there we have it. The top 5 Pyro characters in Genshin Impact. Again, this is indeed based on my opinion. I know all of us have different opinions, so if you have a different top 5, or if you agree with some certain placements or the list itself, let me know in the comments down below, and I would love to see your opinions on your top 5 for Pyro characters. Once again, this is a new series that I'm going to be probably doing every Friday. Let me know like what topics you guys want me to cover next time. But yeah, once again, thank you guys all so much for watching. If you do enjoy this, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That will be greatly appreciated. And thank you guys all so much for watching. Once again, I want to make sure, please keep the comments civil and respectable. We all have different opinions on who our top 5s are, and I would love to hear what your opinions are all about. Alright? So yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next top 5 episode. See you guys then, and peace out.